Today, an Amazon journey with Joe Cardillo. He quit his first job right out of college. 1 year in, got $30,000 in sales in his first month selling on Amazon. He now works as the affiliate manager at Jungle Scout, and we talk tools and software as well. You're going to be in for a treat. There's a couple of good things that he drops in this podcast about how to improve your conversion rates. And if you like the My Amazon Guy podcast, send us a video testimonial to podcast@myamazonguy.com. This one comes from Francisco Valadez.
Steven, thank you very much for the podcast that you've been putting out. I find tremendous value on listening to them, and it's just a really good punch of motivation. So thank you very much. Keep going.
Selling on Amazon is difficult. It's everything but passive income. I share videos like this one to help Amazon sellers on their journey. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. When Amazon turns your world upside down, tune into My Amazon Guy to land safely and grow your Amazon business. Joe, thank you for coming on the My Amazon Guy podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Stephen. I'm excited to be here and chat Amazon and Jungle Scout with you today.
Well, very cool. So we, for those listening, Joe is a long-standing Jungle Scout member. He's been with him since 2018. So before you joined Jungle Scout, though, you went on your own Amazon journey. I think our listeners are going to like that story as much as they're going to like hearing about some of the cool stuff going on at Jungle Scout. So let's start with some origin, man. Give me your origin story.
Yeah, I love a good origin story. And in Amazon years, it feels like ages ago, but I graduated from
every Amazon year is like a decade. I hear you, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm in my late 60s at this point.
You don't look a day older than 50, my friend.
Yeah, it's the beard. I know.
Well, at least you got hair left. I'm sitting here balding. So yeah.
It's true. Amazon hasn't been that stressful for me yet, but we're still in its infancy. We'll see. But yeah, man, my origin would be I graduated from school in 2016 with a marketing degree, started working for a software company.
You're doing pretty good for age 50, my friend. That's great.
Not bad. Yeah. I've got a 401k and health insurance, a cat, no kids. So we'll see. But yeah, so started working, and I think within a year of this kind of corporate lifestyle, I was immediately like, this is not a good fit for me. I'm not really happy here. So I started looking for ways to make money online, be your own boss. I think a friend actually over lunch mentioned that he was making around $3,000 a month selling on Amazon. And I was just like, whoa, how cool. I didn't even know like anybody could sell on Amazon. So I started looking into it and was deep into the, YouTube rabbit hole and had some.
How was that rabbit hole, by the way? Did you get distracted by some ninjas along the way, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. Ninjas, Lambros, I think that era is definitely like coming to an end.
I hope it does.
Like 2016, it should be dead. It should be stabbed through the heart and murdered and lit on fire. But yeah, that whole lifestyle didn't really work well for me. It was kind of obvious it was fake, but I did find, some great resources online. I mean, there's a ton of awesome podcasts and actual sellers and information out there. So after sorting through all of the make money quick garbage schemes on YouTube, I did get into some good info and was convinced to start selling on Amazon. So this was late 2017.
So we started our podcast and videos April of 2018. So I was going to ask you, did you hear about us before we met today? And well, I'm going to let you off the hook on that one.
I've definitely heard about you. Not an avid listener though, but hey, after today, I'm definitely will be tuning in more. But yeah, I think I started selling basically, and my first product, I remember hitting 30 grand sales in my first month or two and running out of stock like right before Chinese New Year. So
what a great problem to have.
Excellent timing. It is a great problem to have. And immediately I was like, okay, there's a lot of potential here. At the time, my profit margin wasn't great. There was still a lot of work to be done. But I quit my full-time job and started doing
how many months in before you quit your full-time job?
3 months.
That's a really quick one. So like usually people would wait a year or something and burst at the seams, but you were like certain you knew.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not happy here during the day. I'm wanting to work on my Amazon business. So let's cut the ties, break my comfort zone, rely solely on this for income. I met fellow entrepreneurs and got to meet up with them in like the Philippines and New York City and do a little digital nomad, which was a lot of fun. Definitely missed that in the quarantine years, but yeah, I want to say about a year after selling on Amazon, I was here in Austin at the Brand Builder Conference, which was hosted by Ryan Daniel Moran. And I remember Jungle Scout had a presence there. And I was a Jungle Scout user. I found my first product and a few others using Jungle Scout's
Jungle Scout
product
was the
research tool.
first technology tool I ever used on Amazon.
Extension Pro or Extension Lite?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I was cheap, so I bought the light version. But yeah, it was my first tool as well, and I definitely watched a lot of their educational content on YouTube as well. So Greg Mercer is definitely a little bit of a celebrity at events like this, and
Oh, big time.
has some fanboys and fangirls around. But I chatted with him and some of the team, and they said that they just opened an office here in Austin, Texas, and I should check it out and come by. So after meeting them, and then just saying like, okay, if there's anything that's going to push me back into like a career or position, Jungle Scout would be an amazing place to work. So I did apply for like a affiliate brand partnership manager role and joined the team back in 2018. But being a startup at the time, like we had like 10 people on our marketing team when I joined, and now we're well over 30. And our engineering team has blown up. I mean, the whole company, I
I
think when I
bet.
joined was like 50 people, and we have well over 180 people now and are set to maybe even double that this year. So the growth has been tremendous and really exciting to be a part of. And being that like we're not really a startup anymore, we're certainly past that, but it still has that sort of feeling and excitement. You kind of get your hands everywhere, and I get to come on podcasts and go to events and do a lot of cool things outside the typical like partnership realm.
So what would you say is the biggest difference between, 2018 Jungle Scout and 2021 Jungle Scout? And you could talk culture, you could talk, organization, whatever you
Yeah.
want.
So I love the culture. And so something we've done every year is Jungle Camp. And Greg is like super passionate about this and loves this because Jungle Scout was founded as a remote company. And I think their very first Jungle Camp was in Bali, Indonesia. And,
Wow.
flew the whole team out there, which has gotten increasingly difficult as we're
I
scaling
bet.
up across the world
Let
with all
alone
these
COVID.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he's still like, we're doing this. It's part of our culture. We have to have it. Obviously, we did our last one was in January 2020. We all went to Costa Rica. So we're not sure when the next one is, but that part of culture has definitely been consistent. We have two main offices in Austin and Vancouver. So yeah, the biggest
So
difference.
what do you do at one of these events? You guys all get around a little campfire and tell stories, or what do you
Yeah,
do?
there's some campfire singing "Kumbaya." Karaoke is a big hit. There's definitely some hardcore karaoke going on.
I could see those vocal chops. I could see that in the Adam's apple. Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I like singing pirate sea shanties. That's kind of my jam. I go
Whoa.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Greg does have. I mean, you and Joe, like Joe and Greg, pirate names. I can see it.
we can get down. Yeah, and then what's great though is like I think bringing all the teams together and like the presentations from our leadership and directors and hearing like what the engineering team's working on, what they have planned for the year. We're still doing a lot of that like virtually and sharing like quarterly update videos, and I think that's like the biggest difference is just the structure and organization. One of my friends that is an engineer said like in 2018 it was kind of just like everyone had their hands all over the place, but since then, we've hired, a chief product officer who's been incredible. He comes from background at like Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple. So he's really just brought the organization together, and we're just able to create like faster and better updates to our product. So the engineering team is like blown up. That's probably the biggest difference. Marketing has stayed like pretty focused, but still with solid growth around 30. And yeah, Greg's still our founder and CEO and very hands-on, and it's awesome. But it is crazy just to think how much we've like scaled and grown in the last couple of years.
All right. So you on your own personal Amazon journey, kind of started using Jungle Scout, which is, interesting, right? Like, so you've launched what, 3 brands, 12 products? Tell me a little bit about that.
3 brands, 12 products. Yeah. So I started with one. It was actually, I have it around here somewhere. I guess it's a podcast, so viewers can't see it, but it was a case for the Apple AirPod case.
We post it on YouTube as well. So those that want to get the visual can go there.
It's charging over here. It's I'll grab it real quick.
Well, while Joe's grabbing that, I also keep some of my products around my desk. One of mine is a failure product. So I have a sweet heat hot sauce. I keep it on my desk to remind me that I am not capable of making perfect decisions.
Exactly.
Mine failed because Amazon shipped it out in padded envelopes and everything broke. So that's my story in 30 seconds. But back to you. All right. So tell me about this product you launched.
Yeah, so my first product was this case for an Apple AirPods case. I got it because it was super cheap. I mean, I was paying like 50 cents a pop, and at the time selling them for over $20.
Great Alibaba first-time product, meets all the criteria. Yeah, small, light, exactly. Easy plastic.
Small, light, can't break it, silicone-based, easy. And it was right when Apple AirPods were like coming out, the first gen. So I was like, everyone's gonna buy these things. Everyone eats up Apple products. I'm sure just like a phone, you'll put a $10 piece of plastic to cover your $100 technology.
Absolutely.
So I was one of like the first sellers and really was just dominating for quite a few months. Over like six to 12 months of selling, the product had just become totally saturated with other people doing it because it was, an easier barrier to entry, cheaper to sell. A lot of the distributors and manufacturers were selling it themselves. So that like $25 price point is now at like $7, $8 and became tough to compete. So I did pull out and stop selling these, but it was like the perfect learning experience. I think overall I kind of like broke even, made a little money with this first product, and then later launched and managed my like baby brand, which had like I think like 8 products in the baby brand. And then a couple that random ones on top of that.
So how did you get into baby products? You like popping out a bunch of babies or something? Or
yeah, I got no babies. I'm actually not a big fan of babies. People think they're cute, but I think they're kind of ugly and annoying.
I've got 3 kids under 5, a 4th on the way, and so yeah, sell me your baby goods brand. I'll take it from here. All right. So how'd you get into that though? That's weird.
That was I think it was the head shaping memory foam pillow that kind of came up during some product research. And I thought this was something you could kind of, maybe build a brand around. You're not really going to build a brand around an AirPod case. And I think that's what I really like coming from marketing and what I think you need to be as an Amazon seller, because an Amazon seller is like, you're an e-commerce seller, you're a digital marketer, and you're really tasked with creating a irresistible product or customer experience. And I think that brands are the best way to do that. If you have something that can connect with the customer and have multiple products, of course, that was really something that I wanted. So baby product wasn't necessarily like something I was passionate about. I don't have kids, but I also think that, you don't have to be passionate about something for it to sell well. You can sell toilet paper and make a lot of money. Who knows?
I don't know, man. Like I could tell you, I'm passionate about triple or double ply toilet paper. I'm not doing any bamboo, nothing. Like that stuff falls apart. I mean, I could do a podcast on toilet paper. I tell you.
From a man that comes from a family where his parents only bought 1-ply prison grade toilet paper.
Prison grade.
Yeah, I am also very passionate about the ultra soft.
Well, if you were selling toilet paper in April, you would have made a killing.
No doubt.
All right, so I think you make some interesting points, right? So like, did you use Jungle Scout and just like the data gathering to figure out some of these niches, or?
Yeah, definitely. I really like the opportunity finder with Jungle Scout. I think traditionally a lot of people would use the product database, which is where you're inputting your filters and, sorting by category. The op finder is kind of more of like a plug and play. It's just got sliders, and it uses keyword search volume to find products. So for me, that was interesting because instead of searching through like, dozens of pages of hundreds of individual products, you're actually looking at this keyword data and kind of just skimming through and finding something that's interesting or points out to you. Like another random product was the cat calming collar.
The cat calming color. Okay.
Yeah. So I have a cat, and
you got a cat, you got iPods, but you don't have kids, but all of these products are seemingly going to get connected. I can just feel it.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. And I don't know if the mic picked it up, but my cat just knocked something off the counter. So
typical
perfect,
cat.
Perfect in Cuervo. Thank you, man.
Didn't pick up the sound, but yeah, I mean, it's typically like anybody who's got a cat right now, they're like, yeah, I get it. They're nodding
He's
their
messing
heads.
around. He could use some calming collars. So yeah, this was something I
There's a
pulled up
product
on the
placement. There we
opportunity
go.
finder. Yeah, it was just so random, right? I've never heard of this thing before, and I pull it up, look at the niche, and like there's one product that's looks like a 90s infomercial, and it had 40,000 reviews, but like 2-star average, like one photo on the listing, horrible copy, but was doing like 90 grand a month in sales. And I was like, this is just prime target, right? Because you can come in here and just brand the hell out of this and make it a lot cooler, a lot better. And yeah, essentially the collar though, it's got something in it that apparently like a scent that relaxes cats or calms them down. So there's also like sprays. So a lot of stuff on that results page were like sprays, or even I think some pills, or
Meanwhile, all
oils.
the other cat owners are like, yeah, I got some catnip.
Yeah, catnip. Let's hype my cat up. Some people, like a common search term would be cat CBD. So people are dosing their cats up with CBD.
Come on, guys.
My cat's not that crazy. He doesn't need the collar. He doesn't wear it. But
we need to drug everybody. It's the solution to all of our problems. Every
yeah,
creature,
absolutely.
every person. Yeah.
Yeah. Just take one from Big Pharma. That's the solution.
Yeah, we know who's lining the big pharma pockets. All right, it's CBD. All right,
it's CBD.
All right. So you figured some of these products out using some of the cool features in Jungle Scout. Like what's changed in Jungle Scout these days? Like so I was a power user back in 2017, right? Probably like you, but I have used so many other tools these days. I haven't gone back to Jungle Scout this last year. So what am I missing out on?
You're missing a lot. So I'd say, and I get this a lot too at like events and stuff. Everyone comes up and it's like, hey, I started with Jungle Scout. I use the extension all the time. I still use it daily, but what else have you guys really done? So we definitely, started in product research. We were the first like Chrome extension to launch, but we've really evolved with a big focus on sellers and helping sellers. So while product research, data accuracy is still a very core part of our product's vision and team's efforts, we have been developing a lot of other products as well. And something like you mentioned too was you've used a lot of different softwares and a lot of different tools, and Jungle Scout isn't necessarily trying to be like the all-in-one solution where we have an answer to everything, because I think if you're doing
I mean like the space has evolved to the point where you need multiple tools now.
Exactly. And I think an Amazon seller will also always choose whatever tool is best. Like I have no problem subscribing to 3 or 4 different tools, even if one of the tools also does something else. It's like, well, if this has better keyword research, then I'm going to use that, for example. But Jungle Scout's really evolved into, I would say, kind of like 3 main categories. So one would be the product research tools. So we have the product database, product tracker, opportunity finder. You have the supplier database, which is unique to us and really cool. Have you ever used that?
I read everything about it when it first came out. I never had a chance to use it because I was so focused on my agency internal operational structure. So tell me a little bit about that. This might be interesting to a lot of people.
Yeah, so we basically take US import records and match that with brand or seller names. This is something that sellers can hide, so you can get blacklisted on these public US import records if you don't want your information being public. But essentially the idea behind it is you could search for, let's say you want to make a backpack or something. So instead of going to Alibaba and you search for backpack, and there's 100,000 plus different backpack variations with thousands of factories that will make your backpack. So the idea was kind of like, how do we go straight to a supplier that we know is credible, makes high quality goods? And it's like, well, let's look at other backpacks or brands and see which suppliers they use. So, we searched for like the North Face, for example, and then we're able to find who imports to who North Face sources their backpacks from. And then we find their factory in China, and then go into their website. Clearly on it, they've got backpacks from like North Face and JanSport and Vans. So like all three recognizable, reputable, high quality products.
So this might be, breaking news to some people, that you can actually like trace high top end brands and where they're sourcing. Like that's really interesting.
Definitely. And a lot of sellers too are like, oh, I don't want my stuff showing here, but there is some sort of way you can, on the US import records, you can write in and they'll block your information from being pulled. But what's also really cool, we basically like released this tool alongside the big seller event in Vegas, and we had a couple people come up to our table, and he pulled up his company and he's like, yeah, that's my supplier.
Wow.
And he goes to the supplier's information and he looks at the other brands that
he
are
sees
sourcing from him.
Who else is using his manufacturer?
He sees his number one competitor is using the same manufacturer.
And he's like, ah!
Yo, he was so pissed. He was like walked away furious and like brought his business partner back and was like, show him what you showed me. And they were livid. But what was really cool those
Chinese guys, man, they will take anybody's business.
They'll take anybody. But using the records, we found that like his company was around like 70% of that supplier's exports. So he's like, I'm going to take this data and use it to like basically hopefully negotiate. And
he's like, I'm your top dog. You got to cut your costs or I'm out.
Exactly. So that was a really awesome use case I found. Outside of the supplier stuff, we've got a really in-depth keyword research tool right now, listing optimization, and then some seller features as well, like sales analytics, which is really meant to do everything that you wish Seller Central could do, and then an inventory management tool as well.
I've long thought about building out analytics tools and dashboards, but the APIs are frustrating. So give me like one or two examples. Like what's something that your tool does that Seller Central can't do that you think everybody should know about?
Yeah, so sales analytics I think is great for the UI is one. That's one thing that always bothers me with Seller Central, right? The UI is a little clunky, a little old school. Sales analytics, I think, gives a really great, easy breakdown of product and company performance, and most importantly, lets you input all of your product cost. So while it is calculating, FBA, storage, referral fees, you can also enter your cost per unit. Maybe
true profit analysis.
A true profit analysis, exactly. So I know a lot of sellers will do that like in Excel. I'm a bit of an Excel junkie, but definitely not a wizard, and I certainly prefer to use like a tool like Sales Analytics.
So yeah, I think profit analysis is increasingly important, right? Like which product in my catalog is losing me money? Which one do I need to cull or discontinue? So yeah, that definitely will come in handy. And anything else on the analytics besides the UI or profit? I'm just curious. I just want to press a little bit there.
Yeah, definitely.
If nothing's obvious, let's move on. But
I would say PPC analytics are all in there as well, and then the historical view too. So comparing like month over month or year over year, it's got like an easy date range filter. But really that like details can drive down into the individual product level. So it can also look at like refunds, reimbursements, and like rebates or any promotions that you run. And then you can customize like manual expenses as well. So let's say you pay like a photographer $800. You can include that in your cost. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense. I like that. That's a cool feature. Let's talk about Seller Central changes that you like. All right. So this, it's nice to do some of these things every so often, right? So like the one that you made me think of was you can now click on, if you go to the inventory page, you click on the SKU, you can now see SKU information, how many have sold the last 30 days, and try so select products and unit counts and stuff like that. So I thought that was one of my favorite changes. Is there any change in Seller Central that comes to your mind that you've appreciated in the last year?
Definitely the request a review button. I've really liked that new feature. This is also kind of a Jungle Scout plug, because my only gripe with it is that you had to do it manually, like one by one for every
Right.
single order that
Right.
came in. And we have automated that. So our extension can like bulk request all of the orders, and then our web app tool can actually just like through this review automation tool, just every order that comes in, when available, it'll automatically send that request a review button or email. And I think we've seen really, really great results from sellers using that feature, as opposed to like sending a manual email campaign, asking for that customer review. So I think that was a great change from Amazon. I think it's made reviews easier to get.
Do you have any analytics on that one? I've tried to do it myself, and we've come up short. We actually have not seen any movement. So I'm curious if there's any like real world use case data collection that you guys have done on whether using the button actually works or makes sense.
So I know we did it with Greg's account, and he's got hundreds of SKUs, and I can't remember the exact percentage, but we definitely saw like a substantial increase.
Cool. I'll have to check that one out, because like I'm suspicious if it even makes a dent. But I do agree that having the automation makes sense, and since it's already part of your Jungle Scout offering, you might as well be using it by any stretch.
Definitely.
But I always like testing things.
And we've got our State of the Seller 2021 survey coming out in a few weeks, and I know we asked thousands of sellers, like hundreds of questions. That may be in there. I'm not sure. I'll have to circle back with you, but it's a big annual report we release, and we might get some insight into that question in a few weeks.
All right, that sounds good. We'll come back to that. All right. So, so now let's get to the segment where you just like offer value, right? So like, here's something I learned on my journey that you can apply in your life today, right? So what is your 5-minute, 60-minute hack that somebody can go do and grow their sales today?
So I think focusing on your conversion rate is extremely important, right? I love the idea of creating this irresistible Amazon product page that converts like crazy. Like people love it and they see it. And for me, that's like really images. I think images are the best way to stand out. And I think where it gets exciting too, I love working with like designers. I use like 99 Designs to create these contests, and you'll have like dozens of designers basically create the designs for you. So it could be like an infographic or us versus competitors sort of table or layout, and videos as well. And then all these designers will submit.
What was that service called? Because that's curious. I've never heard of that one.
99 Designs.
99 Designs. Okay, so this is interesting. How, I don't know how much you know about that program or not, but do like all the designers get paid, or just the one you pick?
Just the one you pick. So that's what's kind of great about it, is like, as opposed to a service like, Fiverr, Upwork, where you're like picking one designer and you get what they give you. I've used this for every product I've launched for like packaging design. So say like one of the products was beeswax reusable food wraps. So I kind of put out these product specs and to a bunch of designers and said, this is kind of what I'm going for, eco-friendly, here's the target market. Let's see what you got. And we got a bunch of awesome designs where it was like really hard to choose the winner. And when we did, only the winner gets paid, and the total cost is like less than $400. So I think it's pretty affordable, and you can do that for other things as well.
That's really interesting. So I just posted a link to this in my Slack channel and told my team, hey, let's discuss this on our sync in an hour. And then Slack apparently has an integration app with these guys. So like they must be pretty legit.
Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. I didn't know that.
All right. So I interrupted your story because I was like, whoa, this is really interesting. So like whenever I do the value added segment, I'm always looking for these kinds of things. So this was perfect. Thank you for introducing that to my life.
Good. I'm happy to do so.
Give me another. Yes. Give me more.
So, all right. So
I'm Thor, and I'm throwing my beer glass on the ground right now. Another.
All right. Well, conversion rate. We talked about that. So, images, videos, extremely, extremely, extremely important. I also think that targeting relevant keywords that are less competitive are also really important. So like my cat calming collar, for example, I'm not going to target cat collar or more generic, like broad terms. Those are normally really expensive. So I sort of narrow down with these long-term exact match keywords as much as I can. I really do think like a lot of the Blackhat methods of conversion are dying as Amazon's like cracking down on the sellers abusing methods. So it's more important to rely on, like organic results, like your conversion rate. I think that's probably the biggest weight in the A9 or A10 algorithm. So same thing with like reviews and Blackhat review farming. Like that's not the way to launch a product. I think authenticity is super key. So creating that buyer journey that's visual. For me, I love the visual journey. And really descriptive as well. So a product I bought recently, and a lot of the stuff that, as an Amazon seller, I'm also a huge shopper on Amazon. Like I'm making
oh yeah, dude, I'm lazy. I'm like the
week.
laziest shopper you've ever met. I only buy crap on Amazon. I mean,
sure.
I'm married and I got a wife who was like, I like supporting small businesses. And she goes to their websites, which, honestly, like everybody should do that, right? Like we should all be doing that. But man, like 2 clicks and I've already bought my item and I need my, I need my bottle opener or whatever. I need my cinnamon replenished, whatever. All right. Okay. So you buy everything on Amazon. Cool.
And I think being a seller being an avid buyer has really like changed the way I sell products as well. I think
what was the last item you bought on Amazon?
Let's see.
Give me your dirty socks and underwear. Come on.
Oh, it was Copic colored markers. I like drawing in my free time.
What was the name of the brand you bought it from?
Copic, COPIC.
So normally when I ask this question, most people don't get the brand name because I'm always like articulating like Amazon's killed your brand. You got to spend more time building brands. So, all right. So you made this segment. You hurt the segment by answering the question correctly. But all right. So here's the next one. What was the name of the seller you bought it from?
No idea.
Nobody gets that one, and that's because your seller display. Yeah, your seller display name doesn't matter. That's my point. All right. Yep. So, I like interrupting people and going down anecdotes. It just makes guests really happy to come on my show. So you were just saying something about being a shopper.
Yeah. So I think being a shopper, like, has just every listing I look at, I'm like, oh, this is the supplier. This is a Chinese seller. Like, oh wow, these images are terrible. This description's ass. Like, we could really make this better. There's a lot of room for improvement on this. Oh, maybe should I sell this product? This looks interesting. Let me run the extension. So I think being a buyer and like that's what I look for every product I launch or on my products, my friends' products. Is like creating that authentic buyer journey. And I think it doesn't stop with the listing itself too, right? I think this year we're going to see Amazon introduce like more sort of enhanced brand content and ways to improve your listings experience.
All right. So get this. So we had a client ask, how do I get videos and A+ content? So we talked to Amazon and you have to go through a vendor central manager to get this or a category manager. They quoted us $500,000 to get all the listings. $500,000. Yeah. So did you have any rumors or whatever you think A+ content's going to evolve a little bit?
We think it's going to evolve. I know our content writer put out a piece on the blog a few weeks ago on how that's like one of our predictions for 2021 is A+ evolving. We think they're going to do more with video. Not sure how. Maybe that could be in the
here was my prediction on video. And if you want to go back to the writer and say, hey, you should plug Steven on this quote. I think video ads are going to show up on Twitch for Amazon products. That's my prediction.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that.
I found
maybe even in Prime Video. I've been watching The Expanse lately. I freaking love that show. But when you pause on Prime Video, it'll show you the actors. How long till they start like also highlighting products that are in that scene?
That's a good one. And by the way, I tried to get into Expanse. I really want to get an Expanse because it's like Mormons in space, and I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's really funny that they made an arc for Mormons in this.
They did, yeah.
I think it's hilarious. I love it. But man, it's such a slow cowboy space opera. I had a hard time.
It's not that slow. Yeah, I think it picks up. And every season just gets better and better. I'm also reading the books. The novels are fantastic. I think it's the best.
Are there Mormons in the books
ever.
too, or?
Yeah. So the Mormons basically build this giant ark. It's like the biggest spaceship ever, and they're going on a 100-year like journey across the stars to this new planet where it's going to be like Planet Mormon.
It's probably Kolob. All right.
Probably. And then the ship's hijacked by terrorists and turned into a warship, and the Mormons are pissed.
I bet they are. They're like, we just spent a century making this thing.
And like trillions of Mormon dollars. So nice. Yeah, fantastic show though. Love that show.
All right. So I think it's fun to do some cultural integrations into our pods here. Joe, I had a fantastic time with you today. Just great interview with you. A lot of great value. I'm going to go check out 99 Designs. I got a link to your Amazon predictions in this pod. Nice. Any last comment you'd like to offer? How do people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can reach me at joe@junglescout.com. It's an easy one. I love talking entrepreneurship, e-commerce, Amazon. So definitely feel free to connect.
We just lost your audio. Oh no. Well, that's the My Amazon Guy podcast. Thanks for coming on, Joe, and hit that subscribe button, guys. This was the My Amazon Guy podcast with Stephen Pope. Each episode helps you grow your sales on Amazon through ideas on traffic and conversion rate improvements. Hit that subscribe button right now to tune in each week. And if you need more help, go to myamazonguy.com.